there. So I wanted to talk about an interesting subject that I don't think um, many people talk about. Well, they might have, but I haven't really seen it. And it was something I came across yesterday when I was chatting to somebody who's awesome, but not um, autistic or neurodivergent. They're awesome, and they they meant well. But I don't know if you've ever found yourself that you can spot things about people and their behaviors and subtle changes and facial expressions and tone and their eyes. Did I say body language? Body language, if I haven't said that. That not everyone else can tell or spot. I wondered if you were my type of autistic who's quite good at spotting those subtle changes in people. Um, and it's not everyone will be like that, I suppose, but will they, because everybody's different, like we always say, isn't it, how things affect us. But I've always been, since I was quite young actually, someone who could spot things about people. And as I got older, understand things a lot more about some people. And I used to find when I was growing up that sometimes from well-meaning people or people who don't understand what being autistic and neurodivergent is, they used to tell me that I was imagining things, that I was paranoid, that you know, no, it's not like that, or in a lot of senses, as I was growing up, it was like being gaslit a lot because I could tell certain things that they couldn't spot, and wasn't something that they would notice, but I would. So then when I'd say something about it, I was told, oh, it's not like that. And oh gosh, actually, it's all into my adulthood I've had that. And even yesterday I had it. There's things I spotted, and they were saying, because, they're saying, oh yeah, you can be paranoid. And I'm like, oh, okay. They're nice, but they don't see what I see quite often. And I keep some things to myself because I know that not everyone sees what I see. It took me a long time to realize that, until my 40s, that I can see people's behaviors and slight subtle changes. And quite often I can predict things or see things about someone, and sometimes they don't want me to spot those things, and it can make them uncomfortable. But that's why I learned not to say some things, and some things I've maybe confided in someone close, and then sometimes I'm like, I know there's something not right here, and then like 6 months down the line, that's what wasn't right. I knew there was something that wasn't right, and I can spot things about people by if they are if they have a good agenda, or if they have one that's a bit manipulative, or those sorts of things. So what I decided to do with this kind of skill was keep some of it to myself, but keep that sort of, okay, I've spotted that. What do I want to do with that? Right, sometimes it's something I felt I needed to share. Sometimes it's something I've kept private. And like I said, because some can't understand how I can see something like that when other people can't, and then you end up getting gaslit, which is really painful for us. Because say like you're in a situation where with a work colleague, or you're being supported by someone and they're in a bad mood that day, but what they're trying to do is hide it. So they hide that. So then when you say to them, what's something wrong today? And they'll go, no, nothing's wrong like that. And then you kind of like but you know there's something wrong, but they're pretending there's something not wrong, and it's difficult for us then. Because, like, so you're giving me one signal, but you're saying something else. And I find that happens quite a lot with us autistics, for some of us. So what we've kind of thought is that we don't know how to read people, but I don't think that's, sometimes it's really not the case. If you're my kind of autistic, you can read people quite well. But the reason I used to think I couldn't is because when I said something, they would say they weren't doing this one thing, but they were. And then it's later I find out, right, so they were in a mood, but they were pretending that they weren't because they wanted to stay professional or they wanted to stay whatever. Or if they were annoyed about something I'd done, then pretend they weren't annoyed, and then that was confusing. Or if someone in some situations I've gone into, they don't like you, but they do those very big false smiles, overly smiling, and that's a bit like, oh, why are you smiling like that? And then the smile, you think, oh, that's a welcome. So you go and chat to them, and then suddenly they would do little digs or say little things, and you're like, or you'd notice the tone or the way they spoke to you wasn't very nice. So they're pretending they like you, but they don't really. And it used to really confuse me. And I used to think this is why I thought, oh, I'm no good at socializing, with that sort of thing. And then I realized it's because I can pick up on things people do that not everyone can pick up on. And then when I've talked to other autistics, I've met quite a lot who can do the same as me. And then I've realised actually, maybe we're not that bad at communicating in those ways sometimes. It's because in society, people pretend that they feel a certain way that they're not in order to sort of roll with the day. But autistics, some of us, whoever autism affects us, are very aware of that. And then that can be really confusing. So I kind of found out, oh, okay. And then me being able to be, I found being as straight as I can be, I found that people who can't be as straight have found it threatening that I'm as straight as I am. They find it threatening that I'm as honest as I am, and also that I can spot things because they don't want me to spot them. So I found that even though I haven't had to do anything wrong, a person might not want to engage or be around me because they know I'll pick up on certain things. I do, just feelings, senses. It's this ability. So when the very well-meaning person I know, and I love them to bits, but they said to me, "Yeah, because you're paranoid," and I thought, "Oh," and I thought in my head, "No, I'm not going to say anything because they don't realise that, I mean, some people might be paranoid, yeah. And when you get high anxiety sometimes, or in some situations, we can become very sensitive to those situations, and we might be triggered by a word, or triggered by a certain way of behaving because of past traumas and experiences, yeah. So those things I totally accept. But in other situations I've been in where I've maybe experienced some sign of bullying, which is quite common for us to go through, and people have told me it's not existing, but because it's a silent, quiet bullying, the type where they give you a funny look or they don't talk to you as they walk past you, all those kind of things. I've been gaslit and told, oh, it's not happening. But I know it is because those subtle things exist, but in society it can be acceptable because we see it on the news, all the different places that have been investigated because of bullying, like different organisations these days. I'm quite refreshing when I see that, and I think, oh yeah, because it happens all through loads of places that we work, but people deny its existence. But being autistic, I pick up on it, and it isn't something I would do back ever to somebody. I didn't do it when I was in school, and I won't do it even as an adult, because school, it can happen a lot, but as an adult, I was surprised to find out how much it happens as an adult. And when I realise it now, I'm like, oh gosh. So people, if they're annoyed with you, if they're bad at, they say we're bad at communicating. If I'm annoyed with somebody, I will be pretty much tell them about it and talk to them. So they say we're bad at communicating, but I find that in society, non-neurodivergent communicate sometimes they're annoyed with you without telling you, and they'll do is it called passive aggressive behavior? And it's very confusing then, because they'll be in a mood with you and you'll say, "Are you in a mood with me?" And they go, "No." But then they'll, like, I don't know, say they're gonna, I don't know, make you a cup of tea, and then they don't make you one, but like on purpose they'll make someone else one, but not you one, and all this sort of gameplay which we generally don't do. I'm not saying we're all the same, because there might be autistics who do that, but I don't know many who do that. And what I used to think was, what did I do wrong? Did I communicate something wrong there? So I didn't realise that it wasn't my communication style, it was people around me. And so this person telling me I'm paranoid, I kind of realised, oh, so they don't see what I see. So I kind of realised I can't always tell them what I've spotted. But sometimes I've spotted things and I haven't said anything. And then, like, a week later, I'm like, that's exactly what I thought was going to happen. And because somebody I was just speaking to now said is as well, we spot patterns. So when patterns in behaviour, change, we can notice the fluctuation, and we notice that might change it to this or whatever, because we've got this ability to spot certain things. So, and I just want to do a topic on that, because you might be able to relate to that experience of being told you're paranoid because you spotted things that non-neurodivergent can't spot. You spot stuff they can't spot, and then they think you're. So I do keep some of it to myself, because I realise that might freak some people out. And they just can't see how I can spot that. All right, you're not alone. Bye.